Many educators have questions about what collaborative teaching is. This presentation is titled, "This is Co-Teaching According to Me." These are based upon my experiences in the classroom being a special education teacher and working with the regular education teacher. The mission of collaborative teaching is just simply you're sharing ideas with one another. You're sharing what you know from your experiences, from your book knowledge, to support one another, to play off one another's strength, and in turn, you're going to benefit more students in the classroom. It's simply knowledge management, what businesses use, taking creative ideas from one another, building upon that to be more effective in business is the same idea in the educational classroom. Now, who would argue with the golden rule? Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, to do unto yourself. That's one of the long-standing principles that we know. So why would we argue against that when we're working with each other? Well, I would argue against that. The platinum rule says do unto others as they would do unto themselves. That means you have to get to know each other. You cannot walk into the classroom and say, I would do this. That's the you way of doing things. You have to learn how that teacher, how they do things, and they have to learn from you about how you want to do things. So you have to get to know each other. That creates good cohesion. Now, in the classroom, with working with each other, collaborative teaching, I always based it upon Kim Blanchard's change model from directing, coaching, supporting, and delegating. You're going to walk into the room as the special education teacher, and the first thing you're going to say is, hey, Mrs. or Mr. So-and-so, what do you want me to do? That's the directing part. As you get more comfortable with each other and learn more about each other as teachers, you're going to move on to coaching each other and supporting each other in the way of, do you mind doing this? Do you think we should try this out today? And then once you have that good cohesion and flow, you'll move on to delegating. Hey, I need you to work with these group of students today, or I need you to teach the lesson while I conference with these students today. Now, there's various types of co-teaching. The four types that have worked best for myself, working with younger kids, of course, centers or learning stations. While one teacher does, let's say, mountain language, mountain math, the other teacher can be doing a science experiment, and then you'd have an independent activity as well for the students and rotating those. Also works good for ability grouping. One teach, one assist does not mean that the one assist is such as a teacher's aide, but you are the teacher assisting the students, making sure they're comprehending and understanding what is being taught. Volley is just going back and forth, having a dialogue with each other, and you have to be on the same page and you have to be prepared for that, such as maybe a history lesson or topic, role playing. And parallel is two different activities. Again, you can be teaching the lesson at the board while the other teacher is conferencing with the students, maybe going over a test result with them. Now, I hope you have gained something from this brief presentation, because the goal was definitely not this. And I love the quote from Billy Madison that says, what you've just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response was there anything that could even be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. I really hope you got something out of this, because that was not the end goal. The end goal, I hope that you now realize that you need to get to know each other as teachers, and that develops good cohesion and a good atmosphere in the classroom. And you're going to slowly transition from directing to delegating, moving from being dependent on what that general education teacher says to being independent, walking into the classroom and knowing what's going to take place and taking charge and being comfortable with each other taking charge. And again, finding the right approach, finding whether it's centers or parallel or however you go about it, finding the right approach that works in your classroom.